My fellow South Africans, today I wish to address you about the National Dialogue, an initiative that has been in discussion by a number of leaders in our country and many other people for some time.
Hello and welcome to African Connection, a nation in crisis, a people divided, and a government looking for answers again. But this time, it's wrapped in a new packaging. A national dialogue, described as a bold, society-wide initiative, was announced last week by President Cyril Ramaphosa. But is it the dawn of a new era or just more political theater dressed in hopeful language? Stick around, because this conversation might shape South Africa's future or expose the limits of its leadership. Built as a people-led, inclusive process to unite the South Africans and shape a shared vision for the country, the dialogue arrives at the moment when South Africa is teetering at the edge of both opportunity and crisis. But the timing is no coincidence. Behind the curtain of diplomacy and optimism lies a country facing intense pressure. Unemployment remains sky high, over 30%. Inequality is staggering. The economy is barely breathing. Add to that a fragmented political environment and growing public disillusionment, and you've got a powder keg. Now, the idea of a national conversation isn't new to South Africa. In fact, it draws from the historic moments like the 1955 Congress of the People and the negotiations that brought apartheid regime to an end. But unlike those seismic events, this one arrives under far murkier skies. South Africa's government of national unity is still trying to find its footing, and Ramaphosa, fresh from a visit to the US, where President Donald Trump made inflammatory claims about white genocide, is no doubt feeling the global heat as well. So the big question is, can a national dialogue restore faith in democracy? Or is it just another staged performance meant to pacify the masses? To give the project credibility, Ramaphosa announced the appointment of an eminent persons group, a team of respected leaders from various fields, including former IEC chairperson Dr. Brigalia Bam and entrepreneur Robbie Bronson, co-founder of Nando's. Their role is to safeguard the integrity of the process and ensure it's not captured by political interest. On paper, it all sounds promising, but South Africans have been here before. In Bezos, in Davos, commissions, lots of big words and grand plans, but little change on the ground.
Just to give you a sense, just to pull the provinces, the municipalities, you're looking probably estimation of more than 700 million. So that's quite a lot of money. So we just need to make sure that we deal with all those issues.
Then came the number that got many people talking, 700 million rands. That's the estimated cost of this national dialogue. In a country where millions go to bed hungry, where hospitals run out of basic medicine, and where township schools still operate without proper sanitation, you can understand why some are furious. Critics argue this is yet another expensive talk shop, a distraction, an excuse, and their skepticism isn't unfounded. 30 years after apartheid, South Africa still holds the title of the most unequal country in the world. Wealth remains tightly held in the hands of a few, still largely along racial lines. Millions remain excluded from the economy, the education system, and the healthcare infrastructure. In such an environment, hope is not just fragile, it's endangered. And for many, that 700 million rands feels like salt in a deep, unhealed wound. But not everyone is cynical. Supporters of the dialogue say it's exactly what's needed, a long overdue national reckoning with the difficult structural issues no politician has dared to confront head-on. They argue this is an opportunity to bring unresolved issues like land reform, economic transformation, and racial reconciliation back into the national spotlight. If done sincerely, this could be a turning point, an inclusive space for South Africans from all walks of life to finally speak and be heard. So, where does that leave us? On one hand, the dialogue could be a watershed moment. On the other, it could be just another government initiative that promises the world but delivers very little. Its success will depend on who shows up, what's actually on the table, and most importantly, whether real action follows the talking. South Africa doesn't lack voices. It lacks ears that listen and hands that act. The national dialogue might just be our last chance to listen to each other before the silence becomes unbearable. What do you think? Is this dialogue a beacon of hope or an expensive illusion? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit like if you found this informative, and don't forget to subscribe to African Connection for more sharp, in-depth analysis of the stories shaping our country and continent. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and stay connected. Thank you so much for watching.